Right, 17 July 2024, and today we're at a bit of a late start, but it's fine. We're going to be very, very quick, and I want to clarify, as usual, I would like to go to bed after giving you guys clarity of what we are doing and where our country is, the country of Zimbabwe. And today is obviously a very important day regarding Sadak, and I want to unpack for you what has happened so that you have clarity and you understand where we are. So many African countries are concerned about the preparedness of Zimbabwe and the safety of their presidents during the Sadak summit. So today we've had 3 countries that have looked at the facilities in Zimbabwe, and I want to take you through these countries, and then I'll give you my opinions of what is going to happen over this next week. So this is a critical week, and in this week, we're going to understand what is going to happen with the Sadak summit. So it's going to be very slow, but I'll give you everything as it happens. So today, Mozambique was in Zimbabwe. They've sent a delegation to Zimbabwe to look at the facilities. The DRC has also had a look at the facilities, and the other country that looked is Malawi. So these 3 countries, they have had an examination of the facilities, because each country has to look at where their president is going to sit or where their president is going to sleep. So besides Sadak, each delegation or each country is going to want to know how their president is going to be accommodated. And I want to explain what the problem in Zimbabwe is. The problem in Zimbabwe is that the infrastructure is so old and it has not been developing. Zimbabwe is the only country in the whole of Southern Africa that if you came in 1980 and you come now, you won't get lost. If you go to the avenues, the same things that were there in the avenues in 1980 are the same things that are there right now. There's been no development. If you go to Avondo right now, the same road you were driving is the same road that you are driving today. All the way to Westgate, there's nothing there that will make you get lost. Similarly, if you go to Bulawayo, you are going to drive all over Bulawayo, you won't get lost. You'll be in the same place that you are familiar with for 40 years. The country has been stagnant because of the poor policies of ZANU-PF. So I don't want to go deep into the raw areas. I just want to focus on Masvingo. Ana Idi Mnangagwa, they have done nothing for Masvingo. Mnangagwa is coming from Masvingo, and he has done nothing for Masvingo. It's an embarrassment what Ana Mnangagwa are doing, using Masvingo for their own political ambitions. But they've done nothing for Masvingo. If you drive from Masvingo all the way to Bethnaf Bridge, there's been no new developments. The local people have been trying to develop those regions, but nothing has been done by the government. When Mzenda was vice president, he tarred the road. I think that was from that little town there, all the way to Roy, Kwa Roy. And that was the only development that has been done on that stretch of road. Right now, the dualization was done, but during all this time, there are patches that are still not fixed, and many people have died on that road. So Ana Mnangagwa, they are shameful. Their behavior is very shameful, especially to Masvingo people. They are using them for politics, but they are doing nothing. It's a shame that I had to go and build toilets myself. I'm not talking about other people. During Cyclone Idai, myself and some guys, including Ana Freeman Chari, were to raise funds to build a toilet at Tafara High School, because the government of Zimbabwe, when the Cyclone Idai hit, they did nothing for that whole area. We had to raise funds and build a block of 17 toilets there. The road between, if you are coming in that area, which I was talking about yesterday, Anachikuku, Ana Negovano, all that area, Kunana, Nika, as you drive around in Nika, all these areas around there, it's a disaster. The area has not developed. It resembles a an abandoned town. Anamnangagwa have not done anything for Masvingo, and they keep using Masvingo as their best for all these things that they're trying to do. I'm just trying to illustrate to you that in terms of development, Zimbabwe has gone nowhere. That is why our country is getting to a point where there is not enough rooms for a president to sleep in a country. That is how terrible it is. How can you have a country where you cannot host 20 presidents? The reason is, in the whole of Zimbabwe, there are less than 5 presidential rooms. So when you talk of a presidential room, that is the presidential suite. The quality of hotel rooms and facilities is so bad. The only development taking place in Zimbabwe is happening in Victoria Falls. Victoria Falls is a jewel. That is the only place where development is taking place. But in terms of Harare, the only thing that happens in Harare is looting. So Anamnangagwa, the only thing that they do is to loot and steal, and they start project and they don't finish. The Sadak summit has been used for looting. They've been looting a lot of money, these guys, and pretending as if they're developing. Look at this embarrassing situation here at Parliament. This is what it looks like right now. They've not done anything. They've just put this road here. This road has been like this for the past 4 years. And the only improvement that happened was Wenga went here and pushed these guys to move. Then they removed Wenga from the committee that was supposed to supervise the roads. I told you about this. And they said that committees must supervise. Wenga had said in 30 days, he wanted to see this thing sorted. But Anamnangagwa took over, put up a committee, and the only development that happened on this road was this little thing that happened here. So as we speak right now, Zimbabwe is not ready, and many presidents are worried about their own safety when they come to Zimbabwe. Where are they going to sleep? Where is their entourage going to sleep, or the groups that are surrounding them? Where are the delegates from Sadak Secretariat going to sleep? Do you see the kind of question that we're asking? These are basic questions. And as I said, 3 countries have come in today to have a look, and they're not impressed, especially with the Museum of African Liberation. There was such a big celebration when that was done, when that was opened. Mahosi came over there. Not a single piece of work has been done on the Museum of African Liberation. It's an embarrassment what our country has been reduced to. We are a people that are hosting something, but embarrassing ourselves every single day. And as Zimbabweans, we should be ashamed of ourselves. But this is nothing. Let me take you to the most embarrassing part. And that is the chaotic situation in the Harare CBD. The Harare CBD now resembles a village or a market at the village where people just sell everything and anything at the center of town. The business cannot operate in the middle of town, and people have had to move their companies out of the city. Harare used to be a pride of the nation. I used to work in Harare at Eastgate Mall, and I used to walk during my lunch just to cross around and do shopping around Harare. At the moment, if you walk in Harare, the pavements have just been lifted up with age. Nothing is being repaired. And as you walk around town, it resembles a ghost town from the past. That is what Anamnangagwa have done. No development on our country. Multiple companies are leaving. And the only companies that are doing well are those money changers and people who receive remittances, foreign currency remittances. No commerce is taking place. And the few roads that Anamnangagwa were trying to fix for Sadak are not done. They're not finished. This is the worst level that we've ever reached as a people. And the reason why I'm telling you this is I want you guys, young Zimbabweans, to understand that if we let this situation stay the way it is right now, we are in a very dangerous direction where eventually everything's just going to collapse around us. And it's not far. Tomorrow morning, Thursday, 78 arrested opposition members are going to appear in court. They have done nothing except to gather at a house. Timber, an opposition leader, 277 people. They were arrested. They have not appeared in court. They have not been granted bail, and they have not been charged with anything. So this is just ahead of the Sadak summit. We've got almost 700 other people who have been arrested, money changers, and people who are called touts. They've been arrested and they just kept in jail for no reason. And this is what the legacy of Mnangagwa is. For the past few months, he's been going on a rampage, arresting everybody and making the situation extremely difficult for everyone. Do not take the things that I'm saying here lightly. Very few people will tell you this. People would rather talk about comfortable subjects or trivialities. The action that is needed going forward is big. We need a big action to take place. And it's not enough to just sit back and watch. You have seen me traveling all over the world. In fact, all over Africa, Botswana, Zambia, and other places that I won't disclose to you where I've gone. The reason is we need to make sure that African countries understand Kuti, Mnangagwa is not legitimate in Zimbabwe. So I want to make this very clear. Mnangagwa is not legitimate. He lost the election. Sadak have issued a report in which 17 out of 20 criteria were not met for a free and fair election. And as we speak, Sadak is on the verge of making Mnangagwa the chairperson of Sadak. It is only God who has made sure that Mnangagwa does not finish this project. If Mnangagwa had finished this project, it was not going to be exposed. Right now, Mnangagwa is going to be exposed by his failure to finish the projects. I can assure you that those projects are not finished. And Sadak, if they insist on hosting the summit in Zimbabwe, they're going to be very, very embarrassed. There's going to be a massive incident that happens that will expose Sadak very, very soon. And I want it to happen so that they can understand the dangers of allowing what is happening in Zimbabwe. This is a betrayal of people of Sadak. What the Sadak is doing, Sadak Secretariat, is betraying Zimbabweans. They should immediately stop what is happening now and move the Sadak summit from Zimbabwe to another country which is capable, which is able. Zimbabwe has already failed to meet the deadline of 30 June. We are 17 days away from the deadline. And we only have 30 days to go to the actual summit. So if Sadak wants to continue and they don't pull the summit out of Zimbabwe, is their own problem. But I've made it clear to you here. 3 countries have already come into Zimbabwe today. That is Malawi, DRC, and Mozambique. They are concerned about the state of preparedness. And Malawi has already said, if you look at the statement that they've said today, the infrastructure in Zimbabwe is concerning. Mozambique has said the same about the Museum of African Liberation, that the situation there is concerning. I'm not even talking about the presidents of those countries. If any country allows their president to sleep at Rainbow Towers, I do not know what that would be. Let me show you Rainbow Towers so that you can understand. And this is not something comfortable for me to do. This is Rainbow Towers. What you are looking at here is a hotel with 300 rooms, about 300 rooms. And on the right, that building without glasses, that is the Harare International Conference Center. This building is more than 50 years old. This is the best building that is there in Zimbabwe at World Conferences. And Mnangagwa plans to put 20 presidents and delegates from all African organizations like Sadak Secretariat, AU, international organizations, and cram them up into this place. There is no parking in this place. You can see what I'm showing you here. This is the parking. Literally on the left, you can see the parking. There's no underground parking. The VIP parking at the front can only take less than 5 cars. That is how bad the situation is. And inside, it's even worse. This place is a mess. You cannot put a leader of a country, let alone 20 presidents into this place. I don't understand what Sadak is thinking, and I don't understand what their plan is. But this is one of the worst ideas that I've ever seen from an international organization. Sadak is embarrassing themselves. And to make matters worse, they want to make Mnangagwa the chairperson of Sadak in the face of such failure. This is the only reason why they should stop this summit from happening in Zimbabwe. We don't want this summit in Zimbabwe. It's embarrassing to Sadak, and it's embarrassing our region. They must bring Mnangagwa back into line, and they're not doing it. The African leaders, they are refusing to do it. So obviously, we invite them to come to Zimbabwe and see what is going to happen. If they don't want to understand what the gods are telling them, they should continue. But there is a big surprise waiting for the leaders of SADC in Zimbabwe, because Zimbabwe has been ignored for so long, and something is just about to happen. And I don't want to preempt what is going to happen, but this is going to be the most embarrassing SADC summit of all time. I think I've said enough here. This is quite an embarrassment, and I expect the SADC Secretariat to come up with a proper approach here. I don't want to say what they should do, but what Mnangagwa is doing is just unacceptable for Zimbabweans. Imagine for the other countries, what are they gaining from supporting such behavior? And what are they gaining from hosting a summit in such a place? It baffles the mind. Like, what exactly is happening? Why is the leaders of SADC insisting on embarrassing themselves to such a level? I just want to show you the airport. Like, what is happening at the airport? It's very embarrassing. Look at this building. This is the airport that Mnangagwa has been building. It's not done. Look at the roads. The roads at the front, they are not done. This is less than 40 meters of road. Not done. I don't get it. I don't understand what is going on. And this stretches to all the projects that Mnangagwa has been trying to build. We can talk about the Mbuzi interchange here. In Harare right now, the roads around Harare are cracking under the pressure of vehicles because they've not finished this project. This project was due to be finished in March 2024. It's not done. The money for this project has been looted. This bridge was supposed to cost 40 million. So far, the bridge's cost has exceeded 80 million, and there's no cement to construct this bridge. That's why they've stopped. The property owners around this facility were supposed to be paid. The money was stolen, and only one person was arrested. So now they can't proceed. And we are calling people to host a SADC summit in such a corrupt environment. Then let's go to the electoral body. And here I'm talking about ZEC, the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. The chairperson of the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, Priscilla Chigumba, traveled to South Africa to a company called Renform, together with Wikno Chvayo, Moses Mpofu, and Mike Chimombe. And they caused the printing of ballot papers without the opposition in attendance. That is on top of the SADC summit, the SADC SIOM report. This has been revealed, which makes the whole election a sham, the whole election that was held in 2023, in August 2023. SADC is quiet. They've not said anything, and they're proceeding with this. At what point is SADC going to stop and say, this enough is enough? Who is going to bring Mnangagwa back into line? That is the question that we've been asking, and that is why you've seen me traveling to all these different countries, including going to SADC itself. I was at the SADC head office in Botswana, at SADC Secretariat. That is me here, the first man from Zimbabwe to arrive at SADC. I'm not the first man, but what I'm saying is I arrived at SADC last month, and I was inside. I talked to all these guys, the people that are in SADC, some of them who I won't review. SADC is going to be destroyed if Mnangagwa becomes the chairperson of SADC. Why is SADC insisting on such a dangerous thing to make Mnangagwa the chairperson of SADC? And when the countries have said it in public that they don't feel comfortable with their presidents coming to Zimbabwe, today I've already shown you 3 countries, Malawi, DRC, and Mozambique. They've already said they're uncomfortable with their president being accommodated in such a dilapidated building. This is a dilapidated building. And the reason why Mnangagwa are hosting people here is because they failed to build the villas. They were supposed to complete the villas. They hired an external company, an international company, which has failed to complete the building. And I don't know if there is anything else I can say regarding this situation. It's a complete disaster, and we have been predicting this disaster ever since. So Sadak now needs to act. Sadak now needs to do the right thing and stop the hosting of the summit in Zimbabwe, and at the same time, bring Mnangagwa into line. Mnangagwa cannot be allowed to rig the election, and the revelations around the printing of the ballot papers, that needs to be addressed. We cannot leave that to just hang in the air. So I know I started late, and I'm going to be traveling. Just soon after this, I'm going to jump up and go to the airport. So tomorrow we're probably not going to have the normal broadcast, but let's see if I manage. So I'm traveling again for the next few days. So let's see if we can get something done, if we can convince more people to support us. Let's now go to the comments. I want to look at the comments here. Mkoma Clemi says, Murume anonyeba hake uyu. I think arutaura idi. Idi aruti anovaka nyika pacha, haskovaka. Die argunyeba. Now let's go to what happened to Zambian court case. Zambia is a democratic country. President Hakainde Hichilema, one of the best presidents in Africa, is building an amazing country. Let me tell you about the hotels in Zambia. If we were to say all the African presidents right now go to Zambia, each president will have a presidential room in a different hotel. You cannot put 20 presidents in one hotel. It's a disaster. That is what we call, if someone was to go and drop a bomb here, and you put 18 presidents in this place, 18 African countries won't have a president. That will never be allowed. There's no country that is stupid enough to put their president together with 18 other presidents in little rooms just to please Mnangagwa. So let's make it clear. I don't know who is planning this. Could an African country takes their president, their senior people, their defense ministers, you cram them all up in one room. Guys, if you like that idea, give us a like if you like that idea of putting 20 presidents of different countries on 3 floors of a hotel. Who plans that kind of thing? Can you believe it? Can you believe the kind of things that Mnangagwa does to think that countries are going to allow it? It's crazy. It will never happen. And most African countries are going to find it odd. Kuti Mnangagwa thinks kuti Hakainde Hichilema, Uyu Ramaphosa, all this Nyusi, all these guys are going to come and live in 3 floors of a dilapidated hotel, which is right next to the Harare city center, just because Mnangagwa failed to build the villas. let me laugh a bit. This is crazy. I've never seen such a plan in my whole life. Just admit failure, throw your hands up, and capitulate. That is what Mnangagwa needs to do. This is crazy. I've never seen such a thing from Mnangagwa. I know he's got odd ideas, like rigging the election and thinking it's fine, arresting hundreds of people and throwing them in jail. But why do grown men in Sadak allow it? Why would a president of Sadak allow their president, let's say you are the head of security of a country, why would you allow your president to go into a dilapidated building like this with the 20 other presidents, and you just sit there like sheep and you allow it? That will not be allowed. If I was the head of security of any country, I would say, I'll give an excuse. I say, quite something. Let those who are brave enough to support Mnangagwa on such a thing do it. This is crazy. I've never seen such a crazy thing. And for Mnangagwa not to understand what is causing other people to go through, it's worse. I've never seen someone who does not have an understanding of the situation like Mnangagwa, like the way it is right now. Someone has to tell Mnangagwa, this won't work. You can't bring African presidents to such an embarrassing situation. This is what I'm saying. This cannot be allowed. It's crazy stuff, what is happening here with Mnangagwa. And he's allowing it. And people in Sadak are walking around. After DRC Malawi and Mozambique have already said this is crazy, this is not ready. And this infrastructure is not in place. They want to continue. Sadak wants to continue. How can you continue with this? And Mahosi must be ashamed of himself if he allows this. Elias Mahosi, Executive Sadak Secretary, please bring an end to this. Bring an end to this, what is happening right now. You are bringing presidents in danger here. There's no president who should sleep at Rainbow Towers in Harare. That thing is dilapidated. And it's been demonstrated to Sadak how much corruption is in Zimbabwe. Millions and millions have been thrown into this project and nothing is finished. Crazy stuff. I cannot believe that Sadak is allowing it. But before I go, I want to end with something for Sadak. Pastor Tafmane Messiah, here, he was killed after the elections, 23 of August elections. He was handing out flyers in Mavuku. After he arrived at a certain place, the employees of the opponent, who belongs to ZANU-PF, Mnangagwa's party, arrived and took him and another man. They took him to Cleveland Dam outside of Harare and killed him and dumped his body and left it naked. I've been writing letters to the police commissioner of Zimbabwe, Matanga. And Matanga has been ignoring our letters. We are asking them to investigate the murder of Pastor Tafmane Messiah. It hasn't been done. We've written to Parliament, Freedom of Information Act, and they've ignored our letters. People have written to Sadak to talk about the death of Pastor Tafmane Messiah. This has not happened. And this is what is happening. Lawlessness in Zimbabwe under Mnangagwa, on top of everything I've told you here, the corruption scandals, which they are refusing to investigate. And Sadak is just walking, agreeing to it. What is going to make Sadak agree to hear the people of Zimbabwe? What if the gods want to use this building here, this dilapidated building? Because Sadak is ignoring her. What if this is the building that is going to solve everything? I don't want to say a lot, but all I can say to you is Zimbabwe is not a country that is an example for Sadak. That is not where your chairperson of Sadak should come from. That is the honest truth. And Sadak is going to understand it when they go to Zimbabwe. It's an embarrassing situation that we're watching here, developing. So to our people on the groups, we're going to send you, obviously, the video as usual. Please send it to the raw areas. Mnangagwa Arku Nzara. Mnangagwa is destroying our country. And young people, you need to just watch. The time to act has arrived. And we need to fix our country. We need to take it from the hands of these old people. And Mnangagwa, they cannot get it. Right now, if you ask Mnangagwa, are you doing something wrong? He doesn't see it. Mnangagwa doesn't see what he's doing in Maswingo. Right now, calling for a third term is not normal. That's abnormal behavior. He doesn't see it. And he does not see how embarrassing it is to call other African countries to witness an incomplete project and to try to force a president of a country to sleep in a room that even $100, those rooms at Rainbow, they're $65. Honestly, you want to bring a country's president to sleep in a room worth $65? Mnangagwa should just swallow his pride and ask for a postponement or a virtual summit. That is all I wanted to say today. 3 countries have already come in today. I'll let you guys know about the other countries that are going to come. This week, every single country is going to inspect where their president is going to sleep. There is no country that is going to just come on the day. So we are going to see 18 delegations coming to Zimbabwe to look at their own hotel room. Where is our president going to sleep? Where are we going to park our cars? Where are we going to eat? Those kind of things. 3 days is a long time. The Museum of African Liberation is not done. So scrap that out of the agenda. So what is there to come to Zimbabwe for? So it's tricky and it's unfortunate. Right. I think Vincent says, did you know that Sadak was formed with Zimbabwe, Zambia, Malawi, Lesotho, Swaziland, Mozambique were the first countries to form Sadak? Okay, Gambako Media. I didn't know that. I know that it was called SADCC. It was not called Sadak. And then, Fred, thank you very much. And guys, fana and recorder, digital or anything. Digital or phone and it. That's fine. I assume good every time I talk, I'm recorded. But let me tell you something about me. I'm very consistent. Everything I say when I'm in public is the same thing that I say when I'm private. I am so disappointed with Mnangagwa and his government. We need a new government. We need a new leadership. There's a serious leadership vacuum in our country. Let's do something about this situation. Let's not stop. Do not take part in antics to destroy small people. Let's focus on Mnangagwa right now. If you're in the Zimbabwe government, do not encourage Mnangagwa to proceed with this charade of a third term. Including one government. So let's not allow this situation to continue. I know most of you are following orders, but sabotage these guys. I'm encouraging you guys. Sabotage Mnangagwa when you have a chance to. These guys don't deserve it. They don't deserve to be supported. Don't support people who are doing this to us. Make sure that every opportunity you get, you make sure that it's terrible what's happening in Mnangagwa, and they're shameless. This is why you see Kuti, they don't even care who they're exposing other Sadak presidents. You expose a Sadak president just because you want to be called the Sadak chairman. You go and expose other Sadak presidents, conditions like the conditions at Rainbow Towers. And you don't finish your project, you don't admit that you failed. That is the legacy, Yana Mnangagwa. And as I said, kumashingo varikukanya, apana mun ari west than mun anova kumashingo. Asarambo vaka kana bridge. There is not a single bridge. Muganda road is kumashingo. Mnangagwa has not built a single bridge or a single road, even a clinic in Mashingo. Mnangagwa has never built a clinic for Mashingo. And he says it's from Mashingo. The guys from Mashingo are busy right now with the third term. So that is terrible. Then Mama Bat Wing says, Gamba Urukurevan Nenema. Mkoma Bat Murusapata Munasana na Diri. Mnangagwa will go. Deva no zanu mazama kutwaga umwe. Hakuna yereka na one. Muzanu. Munatinga twaga angaite right. Guys, is there no one in ZANU PF that we can find who can help us with this situation? This is bad, what is happening in Zimbabwe and Mnangagwa. So I would like to thank all of you. Let's see if we can meet tomorrow morning. My flight is later tonight. And please go to pumojena.com, make your donations there. And what we need to raise is currently $800. Then I want to talk about money. So Panevan Varguti Chakava pa $60. $60, right? Guys, is it my job to raise funds for people? You need Ndagamboe Repana Bandijiti, Basanang Ndirugo raise funds for people. I help where I can. I run a media house and it requires funds itself. So when I give people money, there are people I've given money that no shocker. Because I'm Maria Ndino P11, I also give it to other people. So I would like to invite everyone that has worked us in the past, with us in the past, to stop trying to fight me or to fight everyone else. Let's work together, because where we are going, it's a long road. What we've started now, we started in December 2023. The next government of Zimbabwe, that is normal, fresh elections are coming in 2040. So look at me, guys. Hakuna opposition in Zimbabwe. There's no opposition party in the country. Chamisa said he's going to form the Blue Movement. He has not come back. So listen to me, Chamisa has not come back since he said he's going to form the Blue Movement. We are in July right now. When we first started talking, I was talking very closely with Chamisa's people. That was almost 3 or 4 months ago. Then Chamisa's people were infiltrated by a very senior agent from the Zimbabwe government. So listen very carefully to what I'm saying now, so that you guys don't understand what's happening. And the whole project of the Blue Movement has died. Chamisa has gone back to try to form something else. Ndichakupai my details as time goes on. Who are the people and where are they from? And I'll give you recordings. Because in the recordings, zvakawanda vanhu vazhinji vanofunga kuti handina marecording, but ndinawo. And vamwe vacho they're running to my media house kundiataka ndichivarega. Patichazobuda takukupai mafiles muchazonzwisisa kuti why zvinhu zvichiitika zvakadai. We've got a serious leadership vacuum in our country. We need to form a new structure that is going to form the future government. But if you think there's going to be an opposition government within the next 2 to 3 or 4 years, you're mistaken. We need to start building from the ground. And we need to embrace the idea of a transitional authority. So we need to think about having a transitional authority in our country, which is going to run until maybe 10 years from now. So right now in 2024, I'm anticipating good around 2034, somewhere there, you can start talking about an opposition. Because at the moment, what we have is just a bunch of people that don't have any interest of the people of Zimbabwe. To make matters worse, we've got no systems in our country. Mnangagwa has destroyed all the systems, judiciary, banking, financial, everything is destroyed. So we need a transitional system. But for you to get to a transitional system, something must happen which will cause the transitional system. And that thing is not normal because people are going to have to be forced onto the table. So I'm saying this to you so that you understand. With the white in a leadership vacuum, we've got a serious leadership vacuum right now. There is no one who is operating on the ground. So let me give you these next few days. God has blessed us by making Mnangagwa fail by himself. Mnangagwa has failed by himself towards the Sadak summit. So we need to change the plan. This summit is probably not going to happen in Zimbabwe. I'm very confident that by next week, we'll be talking a different story. Sadak is not going to be stupid enough to host a summit in this construction site, which is Zimbabwe. So let's hope that after Sadak summit, we have clarity. We need to form a structure which is going to start thinking about dialogue, because dialogue is the way. And I believe Kuti, that dialogue is going to lead to a transitional authority with a possible look at fresh elections. But a genuine opposition government is only going to be in place around 2040, 16 years from now. Do you see, Kuti, you need to think strategically. Let's think strategically. Let's stop thinking individuals, because the individuals are letting us down. Everyone knows that. But right now, they are quiet like church mouse. They don't talk. However, that's not their fault. It's very scary in Zimbabwe. It's you're dealing with the diabolical people. So that's why I'm saying where we're going, it's long. The journey is going to be long. Zimbabwe will come and go. Other people will come and go. But don't leave this to your children. They won't be able to do it. Imagine, look at your kids right now. Do you think your kids can deal with Mnangagwa and the type that is bringing up? Do you think your children will be able to take control of that rich country of Zimbabwe and make it a working country? If you have failed, if you have been afraid, do you think your children are going to not be afraid? So let's start thinking and engage. Do not smile at Ana Mnangagwa. Nezvima antics zvavo zvavari kuita. Nezvima video zvana Mnangagwa. Nemaskai madzikoma angu ane tumasheti twakapera. Vasingakweshe mazino. So let's not allow this situation to continue. We need to look long term. We need to form a structure, and everyone needs to unite, because where we're going is longer than where we're coming from. Right. I would like to thank you all. And that said, not I'd like to end this But let me recap before I go. So 3 countries have already sent their delegations to look at the facilities in Zimbabwe. That is Mozambique, Malawi, DRC. They've already sent the delegation today. And they have obviously seen the terrible state in Zimbabwe. They will not allow the president to sleep in such a place. So we have a situation. Let's see what Sadak is going to do. Are they going to allow these presidents to come into Zimbabwe where the roads are so bad, where the situation is so bad? And by Sunday, we'll be having more information. And then Mkoma Nyasha, Kwangware saying, where's Chamisa? Chamisa Ariko, but I do not believe that Chamisa is in a place where he can do what he needs to do. I've been saying this for a very, very long time. Something is constraining Chamisa. And as I said to you, I'm going to give you details about how the Blue Movement was infiltrated. And unfortunately, the building that we're going to have to do has to be done from the ground. And that is where we need to focus. Don't think you're going to build on top of something else. It's not possible. We have to start building from scratch in the country, and a transitional system has to be put in place following a dialogue. And you're going to see me for dialogue. I'll be there. That's why you could do that confidently. Nothing will happen to me. I know it's an dialogue if I'm not there. How are you going to know? Because the people who are supposed in the dialogue right now, where are they? Do you see? Apanamun, because Mnangagwa has destroyed everything, including the people that are supposed to dialogue with him. Our country is now at the lowest. Zimbabwe has been destroyed. It's gone to the bottom of all countries. That is where Zimbabwe is right now, because of Mnangagwa's policies and his actions. And there's only one person that can challenge Mnangagwa. And that person is a structure. And that structure is a transitional system. When every Zimbabwean is agreed, Mnangagwa is to save our country, that is the day when our country is going to start progressing. I would like to thank all of you, and to the guys who are on YouTube who feel they need to make videos about Gamba. I invite you every day. Phone me on this number. I'll attend your interview. But don't confuse people with lies about Gambakwe and what is happening. We want everyone focused. So if you are genuine, phone on that number. I will do an interview with you. Confuse abantu. Zimbabweans are tambura, guys. Zimbabweans have suffered enough, and they need a chance. Give our people a chance. Give our people, especially those who are in Zimbabwe and outside Zimbabwe, give them a chance to do well. Let's not destroy ourselves. We need to move our country in a different direction right now. So thank you very much to everyone who's watching from YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. I'm gonna remain with my best friends here. So I'm gonna end with you guys.